People think that data is in the cloud, but it's not, it's in the ocean. Nowadays, we live connected to the internet 24 hours a day. Although everything seems to indicate that we are moving towards an increasingly wireless world, our internet connections actually depend on thousands of kilometers of undersea cables that crisscross the oceans of the entire planet. Let's find out how this infrastructure works and how it's possible to transmit a massive amount of information around the globe in a blink of an eye. Currently, 98% of the international internet traffic flows through undersea cables. According to Google data, a vast underwater network of cables crisscrossing the ocean makes it possible to share, search, send, and receive information around the world at the speed of light. These cables are made of optic fiber. Tarisha Bobis, Regional Director Southern Europe of DECIX says, "They are not too thick, but inside there are hundreds of filaments of the thickness of a human hair. And of course, they are protected with layers of different materials. The cables begin as a cluster of strands of tiny threads of glass fibers. Lasers propel data down the threads at nearly the speed of light using fiber optic technology. After reaching land and connecting with an existing network, the data needed to read an email or open a web page makes its way onto a person's device. While most of us now largely experience the internet through Wi-Fi and phone data plans, those systems eventually link up to the physical cables that swiftly carry the information across continents or across oceans. In the manufacturing process, the cables move through high-speed mills the size of jet engines, wrapping the wire in a copper casing that carries electricity across the line to keep the data moving. Depending on where the cable is located, plastic, steel, and tar are added to help it withstand unpredictable ocean environment. When finished, the cables will end up the size of a thick garden hose. A year of planning goes into charting the cable route that avoids underwater hazards. But the cables still have to withstand heavy currents, rock slides, earthquakes, and interference from fishing trawlers. Each cable is expected to last up to 25 years. A conveyor that staff members call the cable highway moves the cable directly into durable, docked in the Piscataqua River. The ship will carry over 4,000 miles of cable, weighing about 3,500 metric tons when fully loaded. Inside the ship, workers spool the cable into cavernous tanks. One person walks the cable swiftly in circles, as if laying out a massive garden hose, while others lie down to hold it in place to ensure it doesn't snag or knot. Even with teams working around the clock, it takes about 4 weeks before the ship is loaded up with enough cable to hit the open sea. The first transatlantic cable was completed in 1858 to connect the United States and Britain. Queen Victoria commemorated the occasion with a message to President James Buchanan that took 16 hours to transmit. While new wireless and satellite technologies have been invented in a decade since, cables remain the fastest, most efficient, and least expensive way to send information across the ocean. And it is still far from cheap. Google would not disclose the cost of its project to Chile, but experts say subsea projects can cost up to $350 million, depending on the length of the cable. In the modern era, telecommunication companies laid most of the cables, but over the past decade, American tech giants started taking more control. According to a research firm called Tech Geography, Google has backed at least 14 cables globally, while Amazon, Facebook, and Microsoft have invested in others, connecting data centers in North America, South America, Asia, Europe, and Africa. Countries view the undersea cables as critical infrastructure, and the projects have been flashpoints in geopolitical disputes. Last year, Australia stepped in to block the Chinese technology giant Huawei from building a cable connecting Australia to the Solomon Islands, for fear it would give the Chinese government an entry point into its networks. Jan Durieux, a ship captain, said one of his most important responsibilities was keeping morale up among his crew during the weeks at sea. Building the infrastructure of a digital work is a labor-intensive job. With 53 bedrooms and 60 bathrooms, the Durable can hold up to 80 crew members. The team splits into 2 12-hour shifts, and signs warn to be quiet in the hallway because somebody is always sleeping. The ship will carry enough supplies to last at least 60 days, roughly 200 loaves of bread, hundreds gallons of milk, 500 cartons of dozen eggs, 800 pounds of beef, 1,200 pounds of chicken, and 1,800 pounds of rice. There are also 300 rolls of paper towels, 500 rolls of toilet paper, 700 bars of soap, and almost 600 pounds of laundry detergent. In addition, no one is allowed to consume alcohol on board. "I still get seasick," said Walt Oswald, a technician who has been laying cables on ships for 20 years. He sticks a small patch behind his ears to hold back nausea. It's not for everybody. Poor weather is inevitable. Swells reach up to 20 feet, occasionally requiring the ship captain to order the subsea cable to be cut so that the ship can seek safer waters. When conditions improve, the ship returns, retrieving the cut cable that has been left attached to a floaty buoy, and then splicing it back together before continuing. Work on board is slow and plodding. The ship at sea for months at a time, moving about 6 miles per hour, as the ship is pulled from the giant basins out through opening at the back of the ship, closer to shore, where most risk of damage is. An underwater plow is used to bury the cable into the seafloor. The durable crew doesn't expect the work to slow down anytime soon, as demand for undersea cables will only grow as more businesses rely on cloud computing services, and technology expected around the corner, like more powerful artificial intelligence and driverless cars, will all require fast data speeds as well. Areas that didn't have any internet are now getting access, with the United Nations reporting that for the first time, more than half of the global population is now online. That's a wrap on us unveiling the mystery of how the internet travels across the oceans. We hope you learned something new from this video. If you liked it, hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more such content. Till then, take care.